Welcome to Anti-Woke and Autistic. Once again, fat acceptance influencer Marissa Matthews proves that her brain is inflamed with too many fat cells. The fat is impairing her ability to think critically, even though she talks down to other people as though everybody else is stupid. Wait till you hear what she has to say here in response to somebody who says they don't want her to have a heart attack. Let's check this out.
I am so sorry that I am the one that has to teach you this, but guess what? Did you know that people who are not fat can also have heart attacks? Did you know that skinny people and thin people can also have heart attacks?
I'm going to stop right there. Did you know that people who are not fat could also have heart attacks? Did you know that sober people can cause car accidents? Therefore, we can intelligently deduce from that drunken driving is not an independent risk factor for car accidents. Yes, that's an apples to apples comparison to Marissa's Delulu thinking. She thinks that just because thin people could have heart attacks, therefore obesity can't possibly be a risk factor or cause for heart attacks. According to that line of reasoning, drunkenness is not a risk factor for a motor vehicle crash because sober people cause car accidents. What stupid reasoning. So let's continue.
If you didn't know that, then you should probably go to a better school.
Does this woman not realize how stupid she's coming across? What an idiot. Does she not realize it? I've got to say it again. According to her line of reasoning, drunkenness is not a risk factor or cause for vehicular crashes because sober people and sleepy people and people who are texting cause car accidents. So I guess, Marissa, you feel perfectly safe as a passenger in a car being driven by somebody who's totally wasted? Let's look at this another way. Swimming in shark-infested waters is not a risk factor for getting your leg bitten off because people who swim in rivers with crocodiles can get their legs bitten. Oh my goodness, Marissa, this has got to be one of the dumbest videos you've ever posted. And then the irony is that you look down at people as though they're stupid and you act as though, oh, you're so smart. Obesity is an independent risk factor for heart attacks. The reason thin people get heart attacks, genius, is because they smoke. Maybe there's a combination of genetics plus lack of exercise. Maybe they have a high salt diet. Maybe they eat a lot of junk food, but they just don't get fat. If you put those things together, they have a heart attack. I mean, come on, this isn't rocket science. There's multiple risk factors, numerous causes for heart attack. One of them is morbid obesity, Marissa. God, how can anybody be so dumb? So let's continue.
Newsflash, if you didn't want me to have a heart attack, then you wouldn't be commenting and stressing me out by your unwanted health advice. If you actually cared about me having a heart attack or not, guess what? You wouldn't be bothering me. You would be leaving me alone.
Oh, so now she's inferring that stress causes heart attacks. Well, according to the medical literature, stress has been known to induce a heart attack. Stress is a risk factor among many risk factors for coronary artery disease. So, yes, but according to her line of reasoning, people who don't have stress, people who are not overly stressed, also have heart attacks. Therefore, stressed out people, therefore stress is not a risk factor for heart attack. I'm going to say that again. According to her line of reasoning, if thin people have heart attacks, that means obesity is not a risk factor for heart attack. So if people who are not stressed have heart attacks, because not everybody who has a heart attack leads a stressful life. So if non-stressed people have heart attacks, therefore we can deduce that stress is not a risk factor for a heart attack. That is according to her reasoning, but do you see how she cherry picks? And then the second irony is that One minute she's declaring how she's happy with fat acceptance and fat people could be healthy and she's living this wonderful life. Next minute she's saying that comments stress her out to the point where it could give her a heart attack. She is the biggest hypocrite and she is so mentally weak. Marissa, if you're watching this, you are incredibly weak, 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 mentally weak, mentally weak. Yet you think you're all that, you think you have the answers for everyone, and you're spreading such dangerous rhetoric to your vulnerable, suggestible followers. Well, let's continue with this hogwash.
But I don't believe this. I just believe you're fat phobic and you just think that every fat person is like moments away from dying. But guess what? Everyone is moments away from dying. Literally, anyone can die from a fucking heart attack, not just fat people. So leave fat people alone and stop causing us harm.
When fat acceptance morons like Marissa start throwing around that made up term, fat phobic, that means they're incapable of coming back with an intelligent, logical argument for their beliefs, for their position. So they toss around fat phobic, because they don't have the executive thinking, the cognitive skills to come up with a very compelling argument to justify their dangerous rhetoric. And then secondly, she's talking about being harmed. Well, if she has all the answers and if she's so happy being involved with fat acceptance, and if she's so happy and has come to terms with her body and she doesn't think fatness is an independent risk factor for health problems, then how is it that comments from strangers could harm her? I mean, what's wrong with this woman? How does she get through the day if comments from TikTok trigger her so much? I mean, what if somebody cuts her off on the road? Is her whole month ruined because of that? I don't know, what if a cashier gives her the wrong change back? Does she have a meltdown? I mean, what's wrong with this woman? And what's really sad is that she's got 50,000 followers, and I know many of those followers follow her for the sheer entertainment of it. But some of those followers are true followers, and they see her as a role model, and it's really sad that she's spreading medical misinformation. Now, I'm not a doctor, but look it up. Go to mayoclinic.com, go to all the reputable medical sites, and you will see that I'm right. Obesity is an independent risk factor for coronary artery disease and heart attacks. It causes coronary artery disease and heart attacks. Because skinny people have heart attacks, therefore obesity can't be a risk factor for a heart attack, is like saying swimming with sharks isn't a risk factor for getting bitten by a shark, because swimming with alligators could get your leg bitten off. I mean, that's just how ridiculous all of this stuff is. So that is my video for today. Have a wonderful day.